Hello, thank you for your interest in our amazing Southern African safari that we have planned for 2022. My name is Bob, and I'm one of your explorer leaders that is traveling with you on this amazing opportunity that is scheduled for August 26th to September 5th, 2022. Now, just kindly note that we'll talk about this a little bit more later in the presentation, that the dates of the journey may switch a little bit based upon flight schedules. But let's get started to learn a little bit more about this amazing opportunity that we have planned for you. So a little bit more about us. So we're Entourage Expeditions, a member of the Heartland Chamber of Commerce. So we've taken folks all over the world throughout the years. So some of our places we've gone to: Ireland, Iceland, Italy, Danube River Cruise, Vietnam, China, just some of the countries, just to name a few along the way. So we're certainly there for you to be able to assist you and your local guide along the way that's with you throughout your journey. So more about the actual trip itself. On the left-hand side of your screen, you see the continent of Africa, the equator, and just below that is a black circle. As we zoom to the right side of the screen, you're going to start to see exactly where we're traveling to. The star on the right side is Livingstone. So that's in the country of Zambia, where we'll be having the first part of our safari. Then you'll see the left-hand star, that's Kasane, which is located in Botswana, the country of Botswana, or we'll have the remainder of our safari. So just kind of gives you an idea of exactly where we're traveling to. So let's look at some of the highlights of this amazing Southern African safari. So included in the price is 7 nights and 4-star accommodations with breakfast daily. We have local English-speaking guides. We have the African Queen Sunset Cruise during the time that we are in Zambia, as well as a volunteering opportunity with the African Impact Foundation. We have an open safari vehicle in the Mosi-oa-Tunya National Park, so a chance to do a safari there. And then when we're in Botswana, we have 2 private game drives that are scheduled while the time that we're at the Chobe National Park. We have a boat cruise safari that is scheduled during the time that we're in Botswana. And then we will have time to interact with locals during a Namibian village walk during the latter part of our safari experience. We also, of course, do have the tour of Victoria Falls, just steps away from your doorstep of your hotel room. Meals that are included. So as I mentioned before, the daily breakfast, and then 3 dinners are included, the ones where we're at a more of a remote location with less choices. And of course, the airport and ground transfers are included. So let's take a quick look at this video to get you a little bit more immersed in what Zambia has to offer.
Zambia. Even saying the word is a multi-sensory experience. It somehow captures something of the essence of this special place in the warm heart of Southern Africa. Take in the mighty Zambezi River, the majestic Victoria Falls that form Zambia's natural southern border, and the national parks overflowing with wildlife. Immerse yourself in the fast-growing towns and cities, teeming with history, light, and life. Then visit the vast lakes that seem to touch the stars and engage with a plethora of different ethnic groups, cultures, and languages. Together, they make up the intricately woven fabric of this remarkable country. To visit Zambia is to begin a love affair that will never be exhausted, and unlike any that you have ever experienced before. For all the superlatives that man has used in his attempts to describe Victoria Falls, none are able to do this incredible natural wonder justice. You have to see it for yourself. It is a truly awe-inspiring experience. Livingstone, once Zambia's capital, and the Zambian side of the falls have become a mecca for discerning adventure tourists. Peer into the abyss from Devil's Pool at the edge of the falls. Career down the powerful rapids from Batoka Gorge in a whitewater raft. Bungee jump from the historic Victoria Falls Bridge. Or fly over the falls on a flight of angels. Whatever activity you choose, you'll be left with a renewed appreciation for the sheer might of nature.
So that video gives you a taste of what Zambia has to offer. Again, Zambia, Botswana, although they're neighbors, very different countries. So let's take a look at the itinerary from days 2 through 5. So you'll start to see on the left-hand side of your screen our host hotel, the Avani Victoria Falls Hotel, which is obviously located just steps away from the famous Victoria Falls. We'll stay there for 4 nights. We have the African Queen Sunset Cruise on the Zambezi River, so it gives you a great opportunity to start to immerse yourself in your African experience. And you never know what animals you might see along the way. There's always a chance you might even see a hippopotamus in the water there. Then during the next day, we'll have our morning guided tour of the Victoria Falls, again, just steps away from the resort itself. Now, at the resort itself, you never know who you're going to meet along the way. Sometimes you might meet one of the resident animals, and we met one of the resident giraffe on our most recent visit to the resort itself. So looking back again at the itinerary as we'll continue on with our experience there, we do have a safari that is planned in an open air vehicle in the Moise-Itunya National Park. It is a smaller park, which is great because the animals generally tend to be a little bit more relaxed and aren't generally scattering as we try to go along the way. Now, what's great about the safari is while we have things that are included in there, we've also realized we don't want to overly burn you out along the way. So we do have optional activities. So either during the free time, you're welcome to hang out by the pool, socialize with fellow explorers, catch up on things, sort through your photos from the previous experiences, or join in on one of the optional activities. And we'll have a list of those available for you the closer we get to departure, but it could be something like that helicopter ride that you saw in the preview video, perhaps maybe a walk with the lions or the rhino or an additional open air safari. The many different options that are available for you. And then on one of the days, we have a half-day give back with the African Impact Foundation. So we'll find out exactly what our activity is going to be a little bit closer to our arrival into Zambia, but a great opportunity to meet with locals as well as to give back from your experience. So here's some pictures from our most recent trip out to the area. So you'll see on the bottom of the screen some of the resident animals that were over at the resort itself and some of the sites that we had along the way, including our rhino walk that we did in Moise-Itunya National Park. So at the very end here, we'll be just about getting ready to wrap up our time and head over to the amazing country of Botswana. So here's a preview video about what to experience. All right, so that gives you an opportunity again, a vastly different country, even though you're just steps away from your previous destination. So we'll transfer to Botswana in multi-different transportations between boats and vans. That'll take about 2 hours in time. And then we will stay at the Chobe Bush Lodge or its sister property. It's a prime location right on the corner of the famous Chobe National Park. At our time, we will experience a boat cruise on the Chobe River, so you're able to see one of the many animals along the way on there, which is a great experience. Speaking of the Chobe National Park, here is one of the little fellas that we happened to see along the way while we were in the park, our most recent experience. So as we look at days 6 through 9 on there, we do have 2 game drives that are scheduled, one for the morning, one for the evening. So it gives you a great opportunity to view different animals. Different animals function better during different times of the day. We also have that Namibian village walk that we plan to do. So you're able to see a little bit more how native Namibians live. So it will take a boat trip up the river a very short distance. Similarly to our hotel that we had in our previous destination, plenty of time to relax. One of the enjoying oases within the resort itself. Again, they're very small properties. But again, chance to look through your photos, chat with fellow explorers, or go on another optional excursion along the way. So here's some pictures from our most recent experience. You'll see some of the animals that we saw in the Chobe Park on the bottom of your screen. In the center on the top, you'll see when we visited that Namibian village along the way. So some fundamentals that we always operate here with at Entourage Expeditions is the fun principle. So understanding, and especially with travel to Africa, this is essential to make sure that you're flexible. I don't think any itinerary is always as a plan the way that we should go, but you need to have some flexibility because there's usually some sort of a variation of it, whether some weather system come in there, a flight is delayed, something that we need to do to be able to alternate. So just obviously be flexible and knowing that obviously we're doing our best and to be understanding. So if something does happen along the way, it's travel. It isn't perfect, but certainly be understanding that we'll do our best to try to accommodate you, your needs, as well as the rest of the fellow explorers that are traveling with you. And of course, be nice. Be nice to your expedition guides, tour managers, tour leaders, and fellow explorers along the way, and it'll go forth a lot better. So just some FYI in regards to some tips in regards to the trip itself. We're going into the winter months, so we do expect highs in the low 70s, lows in the low 50s. There are several currencies that are necessary on this trip, and we'll talk about these more in one of our pre-departure meetings. The Zambian kwacha as well as the Botswana pluna are what you would be using, as well as Visa and MasterCard within the resorts, and perhaps some US dollars for some tipping. Flight times are not out yet because of the remote nature of where we're traveling to in Africa. The earliest we'll get them will be October of next year, but obviously we'll wait a little bit longer if necessary to be able to get the best flight options for the group itself. Always what's included with any of our expeditions is our famous mixers and meetings. So a chance to get to meet with your fellow explorers, as well as catch up on all the latest, greatest happenings of this trip so that you're able to break the ice, learn a little bit more, and then relax even more when you're on the trip. So what is necessary to secure this trip? Just $1,000 non-refundable deposit, and we have different payments that are scheduled along the way. We do want to remind you that there are no deviations that are permitted on this safari excursion, so we will leave as one cohesive group, and we will also return as the same group on the other side. Insurance. Insurance is available through us, through AIG Travel Guard. It is required by time of final payment. However, it is not required to be purchased from us. It can be purchased from other sources, but we do have minimums that are required. So just ask us any of those questions on there. But again, we try to leave the deposits as low as possible initially to get you signed up so that you can purchase your insurance right away to be able to start to protect your investment. Attire is rather casual on this one. We'll start to go over very specific colors that might be very helpful to you along the way. So what do you need to budget for on this expedition? Well, obviously the expedition itself, the travel insurance that kind of goes along with it, any of your gratuities, and then meals that are included. So your lunches and your several dinners. So estimating about $25 a day on there. Any sort of optional tours while you're in Botswana or Zambia, as well as souvenirs you wish to purchase along the way. Visas are required for the country of Zambia and not included, but we will help to facilitate those. And we do ask that you have up to 8 pages of blank pages available in your passport because we'll be stamping in and stamping out several times into different countries. Now, if you have any further questions about this trip, or you wish to get yourself signed up because there's just very limited space available as the original safari sold out in 45 minutes. And now we've reopened another section with just a few more spots because we are taking a small group. Should be no more than 35 total, including your tour managers on this trip. So if any questions, you can reach out to the phone number or the email address that is listed on your screen. On behalf of Entourage Expeditions, we hope that you join us on this amazing experience. And please do keep in touch with us for any of our amazing excursions and expeditions that we have planned into the future. Take care.